But same exact tone, like this is very dark and Trump's seizing control of institutions. It's like, no. What's happening is you people had control of every institution, from the universities to the Kennedy Center to big business on down. And Trump is bit by bit taking on these institutions to say, what you're doing with respect to skin color-based hirings is illegal. You must stop it.
I'm all for holding people in positions of power, political power, or any position of power accountable for the actions they may or may not take. And I think even trying to prevent by saying, hey, it looks like this might be what you're doing. Let's be wary. Let's make sure we're not doing this. And that will open up or give them the opportunity to be clear on what it is exactly that they're doing. But I don't think that we should just sit there and make bland accusations. And Bill Maher is doing that when it comes to Trump. And Megyn Kelly is going to be talking about it on this video I'm going to show you guys. But before we get into that, I want to remind you guys to subscribe to RTM News, because it ensures YouTube that you're enjoying these videos. And in turn, it will continually show up in your feed and it'll push it out to more people. I'm Titus. Let's get into this video.
Maher is at it again. He's got this, some of the TDS gets in his eyes sometimes, and he says some wacky things. And here's one of them, SOP 23.
I don't know if I was the first one to use the phrase slow-moving coup. If there was a slow-moving coup, let me just describe some of the steps, and you tell me if I'm being paranoid. First, create a masked police force. Normalize snatching people off the street. Normalize seeing the National Guard and the military. Have other states start sending their troops. So you have in the Capitol a sort of permanent police presence. So when an election dispute might come up, just hypothetically, I'm going to pretend for the rest of the duration that the Democrats do have a chance of winning and they might win the next election. I just don't think they're ever going to take power, because this is what's going to happen. Because I think this coup is going to go off a lot smoother than the last one.
Oh, so you see,
Slow-moving coup. No, what do you mean the last one? Bill Maher is so, my brother, you always go back and forth. You always switch up, man. Thank you for calling out the wokeness, but a slow-moving coup? That's not what's happening here. It's absolutely ridiculous. No, this is called propaganda. And that happens on both sides. I'm not going to sit there and act like it hasn't been brought up, maybe even by Megyn Kelly at times and other people. But just say things to fear-monger people into thinking one way or the other about something. And it's like, just say what you think is a problem and what you think maybe shouldn't be done, or why and why. Don't just say a coup, a government takeover, bring someone in a political position of power using the military and all these people to just no, that's not what's happening here. Stop.
Trump's not going to leave office. And that's why he's bringing troops into DC, so they can be permanently stationed there, so they can make sure he stays in office for a third term, even though it's unconstitutional. And the masked police, meaning the ICE agents whose homes are being doxxed, whose children are being harassed, they don't want to be doxxed by these illegals and the activists really around the illegals who are doing it. That's why the ICE agents are wearing the masks. That's been pretty clear. People have talked about that from ICE. The troops in D.C., again, we've gone over that here. Federalized forces setting up a permanent security state. Okay, by the way, was there anything close to the current, is the current so-called security state anywhere close to what the Dems had after J6 for months on end in D.C.? Nobody complained about that. It was like an insurrection that was 2 hours long, but we had to have D.C. armed guards all over the city for months on end, Emily. It's just crazy talk.
Journalists couldn't get in to cover Congress. They made it very, very difficult for journalists to get in through Nancy Pelosi's little fence, not little, big fence, to go cover Congress at the time. And also members of the public. It was very hard for them. This was all done under COVID emergency measures to get in and talk to their representatives. Also, this is not permanent as of right now. It is temporary. They have to renew it every month or so. I think it's like a 20, 30-day thing. So we don't know that there's anything permanent about this in D.C. yet at all. And lastly, if the National Guard had been activated on January 6th, and I know this because I was reporting live from the Capitol in the middle of the mob, you would never have had a mob in the first place if the National Guard had been activated. So I don't actually even know what he's saying.
Yeah, that's actually crazy. Trump, yeah, exactly. They wanted that to happen. I think it was turned on by Nancy Pelosi, if I'm remembering correctly. They wanted to get as many people there to make sure nothing crazy happened, and I think she prevented it. And then something crazy happened, so they could use that to come against Trump. But the fact that a lot of these ICE agents are being doxxed is absolutely insane. They're just doing their jobs, even if you're not even in favor of them deporting illegal immigrants back to where they came from. I still don't understand. What is your solution to that? Anyways, I don't want to go on a tangent. But like doxing them, finding out where they live, affecting their family, putting them in danger, that's crazy work. I don't understand this doxing thing people do nowadays. It's so weird.
Some leftists really cannot get over their belief that Trump is a fascist and that every move he's making is not because he genuinely wants to lower the murder rate in Washington, D.C., but there has to be some ulterior, like very dark motive. Ali Velshi, who's now on MSNBC, went off on this. Again, it was a slow Friday. The same thing. Like
now I know it was a really slow Friday because you were bringing Ali Velshi.
I really need a life. But he's same exact tone, like this is very dark and Trump's seizing control of institutions. It's like, no. What's happening is you people had control of every institution, from the universities to the Kennedy Center to big business on down. And Trump is bit by bit taking on these institutions to say, what you're doing with respect to skin color-based hirings is illegal. You must stop it. What you're doing over here with anti-Semitism running rampant and the open harassment of Jews actually happens to be illegal. What you're doing over here in your hiring practices, you can't do that anymore. The Smithsonian needs an overhaul. Yes, it does, because we're obsessed with slavery. The Kennedy Center only rewarded leftist artists who were woke. We're not doing that anymore. And they can't stand it, that he's evening the scales. He's like removing or trying to remove the leftist poison from all these institutions so that it just settles down to something closer to normal, and they can't stand it.
Well, and they're not helping themselves with these overreactions. And I actually have to restrain myself sometimes and think a little bit further to not have Trump derangement syndrome.
Well, that's the thing. I can't really take any of these people seriously when they overreact on both sides. Even when Biden was in office, and obviously I do think he did a bad job. I feel like we were all affected to a degree that it was noticeable in our lives, financially, whatever. When it came to the DEI nonsense, I mean, for me, it would be beneficial because, what I mean. But for other people, it sucks. It's the overreaction is a massive problem. It's hard to take anyone seriously. Just if you don't like something, that's fine. If you want to speak against something, that's fine. But acting as if something is evil or you can say, I don't think this is I don't think this is something that we should be going towards. But when you are trying to act as if it's some sort of villainous act that not half the country believes or agrees or wants, you're being disingenuous. Explain why what you're saying is better. Not vilifying individuals or overreacting to a level that brings fear onto other people. It's the way they do it is just wrong.
I think a couple of steps ahead, because some of the stuff that Bill Maher was listing, for example, I don't like that ICE agents have neck gaiters pulled up over their faces. I just don't like it. I don't like it as an American. Is it part of a slow motion coup? No. And that's where no. Is there a permanent police state in Washington, D.C. when Donald Trump has invoked temporary measures? No. And so sometimes it's just, because Trump's opponents overreact, we end up getting two choices. You end up with insurance policy Peter Strzok FBI, or then Donald Trump putting Matt Gaetz in charge of the Justice Department.
Oh boy.
And so instead of, which was the first pick, obviously, so instead of just taking a breath and having a rational, reasoned, democratic, center-left response, you end up with insanity. And it's we can't have a normal conversation because of it.
Bill Maher had on Andrew Huberman of Huberman Labs, and he's a health expert. And he gave one tip saying if you can't fall asleep, like if you wake up in the middle of the night and you can't fall back to sleep, to take deep breaths and to close your eyes and to move your eyes left and right, left and right. That is hard. This literally happened to me last night. It happens a lot.
Me too. Oh my gosh. I saw that clip go viral. I did the same thing.
I'm like, it doesn't. Try it. Close your eyes and try to move your eyes left to right. It's like you're not sure if they're moving. Are they moving? I don't know if they're moving. I can't really tell. I don't feel them actively moving. It's very hard, and I got to be honest, it did not put me back to sleep.
I just felt uncomfortable trying to do that. I don't know. No, I don't think I'm doing too much. Anyways, we can do this another time. That was interesting. Again, the overreaction from both political sides. I mean, in this current situation, it's the left overreacting, and they overact to a degree even higher than the right. I feel like, in my personal opinion, it's just all noise and frustrating and annoying, and it's just like can we just be real? We're all adults. Let's just be honest, objective, and communicative with our thoughts on things instead of just throwing out words like a slow-moving coup or whatever, or just anything. It's so annoying. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to comment down your thoughts below. I want to know what you guys are thinking on this, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.